When it comes to planning a retreat, there's ways to get it to go from average to incredibly transformative. Welcome to Retreat Boss, where we speak about inspired travel for fun, transformation, and profit. Guest experts will give you their tips and tricks on creating the most impactful retreats, both for you and your clients. Whether you want a meditative getaway, a wellness trip, or a business escapade, we provide you with the best advice in organizing and hosting a tremendous event. Join Catherine Kontos as she talks with fellow experts about creating exclusive and successful retreats. Dive deep into the most unique activities, the best destinations to visit, and the most uplifting trips out there that you can discover. Here is your host, Catherine Kontos.
Hello, Retreat Bosses, and welcome to Retreat Boss, the podcast. For the first time, Retreat Boss, the podcast will be streaming live in Boss Up with Retreats on Facebook, a group of retreat leaders looking to plan, curate, host, and even be a facilitator at a retreat in the near future. So welcome. I want to welcome Jen Axe. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I love it.
You are a story producer and an embodiment coach, founder of herStories, which helps women express their stories of resilience, and you offer workshops. I have seen your work. I think it's phenomenal. I love it. I felt watching your videos and the movements and the storyline of each individual that was on, each woman was so impactful. It made me get these feelings inside of either like sadness, happiness. It just like made me travel with the woman's journey. And I just really appreciated the artistic talent behind it as well, because anybody could tell a story, but then to bring it to life the way you did with your videos, and I guess with your instruction, to these women on how to do it and how to bring it all forth is phenomenal. I really am amazed by your work. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you for seeing it. Thank you for getting it. Thank you for understanding it. I really appreciate it so much.
So tell us a little bit more detail. I know I got to speak to you. I had the privilege to speak to you beforehand. I got to watch the videos. I've been on your website. Love it all. Share your story. How did all this start, first of all?
Great question. I mean, I feel like my journey, first of all, thank you for having me. And also so many things you said I love, but you feel when you watch the work, you feel like you're traveling with the woman's journey. And I really appreciate that. And that inspires the question or the thought with what you just asked me, which is the traveling of my journey. My entire story led me to the work that I'm doing right now. I've been a dancer for my entire life. I've been a teaching artist in New York City public schools for the last 17 years, empowering children through an artistic lens, empowering them to reach their excellence. And when the pandemic hit, my whole entire world shut down, just like everyone else around the world. And I was left with this very significant desire to continue to empower humanity, truly. And I couldn't reach these children. And so I switched my demographic to women because I've worked with women a lot as well. And so I decided to put all of my skill sets together, which is that journey that got me here, which is the teaching, the dancing, the movement coaching, the photography, the editing, the desire to empower and create. And so what I decided to do was start helping women remain connected to their stories during this very difficult time of isolation and confrontation. We had to really look at ourselves and ask, who are we and what do we want to do with our life? And this pandemic is making us all kind of look in the mirror and ask the hard questions. And so I wanted women to hold on to themselves, to hold on to their story and reflect and take this time to really reflect on the journey that got them here to the 2020 pandemic. And so I started meeting with women online virtually, just like this. And I would talk to them about their stories. And I became so inspired by their stories. But then the movement coach got into this process, and I developed something called the power of gesture. So I started asking these women, not only tell me your story, I want you to embody your story with your body so that you can process these emotions in a beautiful way, move those emotions through your body so they don't get stuck, because during this time, right, where we were all facing this very significant ask of who are we, what are we doing with our life, what is the world right now, all of these things. So there's a therapeutic component to it as well. So I asked these women to embody the core emotions that live inside of their stories. And so they would give me, you don't need to be a dancer or have any kind of dance background, just, hands and curiosity. And so these women would begin to embody their stories with very simple gesture. This became an extremely powerful practice. Then I took it a step further outside of the one-on-one coaching. I started to curate their stories and added that editing and photography and artistic, like you mentioned, side of my brain. And what I did was I layered in all kinds of footage and music with their stories. And so at this point, I have about 120 of these very short, so that people can watch them, because nobody really has time anymore, right? So they're like 3 to 5 minutes long, of these beautiful pieces of art it's a therapeutic process that lands with a beautiful piece of art inspired by a woman's life story. And so I feel like I've culminated, I've come to this place where I've been able to combine all the things that I absolutely love and help women and girls, by the way, because I'm working a lot with girls now, women and girls remain connected and embody and celebrate all that they are.
How do you find it affects those women? Like once they finish a session with you, that's one thing. And then there's the other part where they actually watch the video that you produce, right? There's like 2 levels to this strategy, if you want to call it, of empowerment.
Yeah.
So
this practice.
They've done the level 1, right? Which is just the movement and all, your instruction as to what to do. How does that make them feel?
It's unbelievable what happens. The transformation is incredible, because it's one thing to speak your story. It's another to embody your story. So if there's pain in your life, which we've all pretty much experienced, and if the gesture takes place, so take the movement. So you've got the word, the anger or pain or resent or whatever it is. I'm just taking kind of a negative emotion or an emotion that we all so that's embodied. Then you put on music and you move that emotion through your body with music. The transformation that happens is unbelievable, combined with the celebratory, the lighter feelings of joy and empowerment. So what happens is we're taking these emotions, we're then putting it into motion, then we're adding music. And by the end of this journey, right, there is a new understanding. A woman is now looking at herself with a new perspective, because that's just what happens. It's like when we're feeling something and then we go and work out, these endorphins are released and we have a new energy about ourselves. The same thing happens, except we're looking at our stories. And so there is this new connection to parts of ourselves, whether it's joy, whether it's anger, whether it's embarrassment, whether it's empowerment, whatever the emotion is. All of a sudden we have a new relationship with it, because we've moved it. We've given it an opportunity not to go away, because they're not going to go away. They're all parts of who we are. And it's about how can we shift the perspective, shift the mindset that we once had. So that's what happens. The mindset shifts, and it's unbelievable to watch.
And you do this with groups.
Oh yeah. So I do this one-on-one with women, and then in groups, it is just phenomenal what happens, because it's not obviously about each woman's individual story. We would be there for days and months, So each workshop is prompted by a different theme about intuition, about a woman's desire, about shifting mindset, about intuition, whatever it might be. Did I say that one already? About whatever. So there's a theme that prompts the conversation, and all of the women get to experience the work, then embody the work, put gestures to it with music. So this movement story happens among a community of women where we can see and hear each other with our body, not just with our words, and feel each other's gestures. It's unbelievable. Talk about layered. It is so layered when we do this with a group. Every time I've done it, and I've done it a lot in the last year, there is not one time, and I'm not just saying it, at the end of each workshop, women, I've never done this before. I've never experienced this before. I feel so empowered. I feel so enlightened, not just by their own story, but by the women that they're witnessing and holding as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So just to be clear, each person in the group says their story, or is it more of a general thing, or both?
Yeah. So I'm so glad to clarify. So there'll be a theme. So let's just say it's about intuition, right? When was a time when you were in your intuition, or when you were not in your intuition, whatever the prompt is. They'll journal about it. We'll all come together as a group and share a little bit, but then I'll guide them into creating a gesture that represents what their feeling is. And each woman has the opportunity to do this, and we all learn each other's gestures. So it becomes a collective movement story among all of us. So we're all kind of moving through each other's stories. Obviously not the entire story of a woman's life. Like I said, we would be there for hours, months, years, but a specific theme that every woman in the room could relate to.
And then there's level 2 where we said they watch the video.
Yeah.
Do you ever do like a live session as they're watching the video to see how they react, or you just send it to them? And
no, I always have to meet with them. Okay. I've never just sent it to them. Never. Okay. No, I have to be there because it is unbelievable what happens.
I think I would cry.
Oh yeah. They all cry. Yeah. Because they're watching themselves. They're watching their story reflected to them through art. I mean, that's the artist in me. I love the way I edit, because the way I edit is very fluid. It represents a woman's energy. It's intentional. So there's a lot of flow and a lot of grace. And so they're watching and the way it edit. I mean, you've seen some of the videos, and if you're watching this or listening to this, you should go watch these videos, because it's just the way it's presented with the music. All of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, I'm pretty unbelievable. Yes, my journey was hard, but look at the beauty of it. So there is so much transformation from that level 1 or step 1, right, to the end. The transformation just continues to happen throughout the entire way until the end, where it's complete celebration about a woman's life. And that's my thing. I always talk to women about, we've all been through difficult times, but let's celebrate it. Let's celebrate our resilience, and let's share our stories and share our lessons so that other women can rise and say, you know what, I'm not alone, and I don't have to be afraid. We're giving voice not only to ourselves, but to other people as well.
Because I think it's a great promotional tool for anybody that wants to use it as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. People use it for their business all the time as a way for their community to get to know them in a really profound way.
Yes, absolutely. Would you be able to show us these videos? I don't know. We're live, so I don't know how it'll work, but give us a little quick.
Do you want me to show you? I have to be able to
screen.
Oh, okay.
So people can see what you do, because we could talk about it, till we turn blue in the face, but they won't get it until they see the actual footage. I saw it. I thought it was beautiful. I saw the one woman. I didn't see the groups, but I feel if that was amazing. So will the video.
I have a question. Do you want me to show a single woman story or a group story? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be fine.
Okay. I have so many. There's so many beautiful ones, but I mean, they're all beautiful. So I can show you the one I shared with you.
Sure.
Okay. Can you hear it?
Yeah, I grew up not feeling very empowered. I had fight in me, and I was definitely rebellious. A lot of it came for self-protection, conditioning, the family expectations, having to be strong. And so I was good at putting on a good front. Inside was always this very soft, very emotional being. Just had this heart, and I just wanted people to see it because I didn't look soft. This angry Black girl, and then I grew up to be a woman, and it's angry Black woman. And then they just judge you. And so inside, I was crying and screaming to be heard, to be seen for who I really was. I was abused as a child. And after being abused, I really put on that armor, that tough girl, and basically checked out of life. I just existed. When I had what I call is my major wake-up call in 2006, 2007, I was over myself. I decided that, enough was enough, and that I wasn't born to live a life of misery. I've always had this deep connection and understanding that there was something greater than myself, but resided within me, became my motivation, is to connect with that again. I knew that if I didn't, that I would die. Waking up from this perpetual state of unconsciousness and realizing that I had squandered my life based off of some freaking ideal image. It didn't even matter. And then I was pissed off because born into this society that truly didn't have any love for me made me angry. And then it was a self-imposed prison. Why? Because I was trying to live up to these expectations to survive in a system that didn't even care about me. So, yeah, I got mad. And then I got busy. Because I realized that I'm not the only one that feels like this. And furthermore, I started really doing the investigating, looking, searching, and making the connections. Like discovering the truth amongst all of the falseness that is presented to us in our day-to-day throughout society. Really looking at things that we were taught and truly looking for the source of the information and looking at that and seeing if there's any truth to it. And once you do that, once you're open to it, everything starts to come to you. The answers are there, clear. The day I stopped crying is the day my heart stops beating. Don't you feel this? Like, that's the thing. My tears are not a cry for help. is me feeling. And for so many years, I did not feel. So I welcome them. It's like a release, a healing, it's a cleansing, it's life, it's beautiful. I act when intelligence moves within me. That's how I live my life, you know, in awareness now versus walking around asleep, following, listening to what everybody else has to say instead of trusting the intelligence within me. Once we figure out who we are and why we're here, anything else is inconsequential. And once you wake up, there's no going back to sleep.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I hope people, get to watch it live because we do stream on audio as well. Definitely, they need to see your work. I think it's just a beautiful expression. And the way the journey is told, just, you can't stop watching it. I could have stopped it after, a minute and people get an idea, but I think it's worth the whole thing. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you for sharing your talent to the world. That's true talent. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. I really, I'm very grateful. I'm so grateful that when people really get it and see it and really appreciate it from all the angles that I love it, from the artistic side, from the cathartic side, from the healing side, from the celebratory, it's all so beautiful. And what I really want women to know, and we probably can't show this, but I do have that minute video that just shows what it is like in a group. Because in a group, it's really powerful with several women in the space sharing a piece of their story and embodying that and connecting through that community is just so the power of gesture. That's what it is. And it's really, our body has so much wisdom. And when we allow it, it's interesting when I work with women, sometimes they're like, oh, well, that part of my life, I was feeling trapped and I don't know, I can't really come up with a gesture, but and they do it. They don't even realize they're doing it. And a lot of times I catch them and say, you just your body did it. Trapped, lonely. They didn't even know. Or I felt so empowered, but I don't know what that gesture would be. Well, you just did it. Your body speaks. And so I like to help women identify the language. And it really comes to my own personal, very quick. I have a lot of history around my own connection to language and how I communicate in the world. And for a long time, I didn't really know my place. And when I found movement and when I found choreography and when I found gestures, it made me feel connected and understood. And so that was my personal journey. And I really want to offer that to as many women as possible because there's so much power in it.
There really is. There really, really is. Look, for the people that are in this group, they're going to take advantage of this situation, and you're going to put in, your links for YouTube for them to see more of the videos.
Yes.
For those who are going to see it, through YouTube, in a few weeks and are listening to it on their favorite podcast, they will have all the links right there and then, and they'll be able to view your website, your YouTube channel, whatever it is. I know you are in this group because you want to connect with retreat leaders that may want to offer this service or facilitation into this movement. So know that for anybody who's listening, that she is a facilitator for hire to create this group movement in the retreats. And I believe you can do it also. You don't have to be present. You could do it.
Yeah, virtually. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for being here today. I think it's a beautiful thing that you're doing. I think it can really create a transformation, or can enhance any program that's out there and really just bring it to the next level of transformation. I really do. And anybody who's interested, they should just look you up and just hire you. I would. So, good on you. Do you have any new projects coming up or anything that you want to share with us?
Well, I have a bunch of retreats that I'm doing in person and virtually that I'm very excited about, partnering with retreat leaders, right? I just came back from Los Gatos and worked with the Pirouettes out in California. I'm working with Lolita Walker in Virginia next in like 2 weeks, and then Rise Gatherings in 3 weeks. And then in Florida, I've got some things like with that. But in terms of what people can participate in, I do my own workshop monthly. And I have a complimentary also. So I have a 30-minute complimentary in one morning every month. And then I have my full 60-minute workshop once a month. All of that is on my Instagram. So if you just click on my Instagram, it'll show you the next one that's coming up. So I have that. And there's a couple other things that I'm working on that I haven't solidified dates for. So, those are the things. I'm just, so excited to continue to partner with retreat leaders and enhance their programs and support their communities and help these women and girls both really transform and become everything that they possibly can be.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for being you, doing what you do, and inspiring all these women and giving them that power that they need to show. They need to showcase to the world. Thank you so much. And that's a wrap. For anybody who is interested in planning their own retreats, taking a course, or hiring a retreat planner, just go to retreatboss.com. Up until next time, take care.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Retreat Boss podcast. When it comes to achieving wellness and transformation, nothing is more effective and profound than a well-orchestrated retreat. Achieve huge revenue growth, one trip at a time. Want to learn more on expanding your business with retreats? Visit retreatboss.com, when profitable retreats are made easy. Be sure to leave a rating and subscribe to the show at retreatboss.com/podcast. Until next time, take care.